Welcome to another edition of Economics with Mr. Molden. This time we're going to be talking about comparative and absolute advantage. So today we have a special guest. Her name is Princess Caroline. She is the ruler of Arendelle, and there's her lovely kingdom. And I am the, of course, reigning ruler of Nerdtopia. In today's video, we're going to be talking about trade and comparative and absolute advantage. For the sake of our example, we'll be making either plastic animals or plastic little people. So, to set up the example, we have the Kingdom of Arendelle. There's our lovely ruler again. So, Princess Caroline, tell me how many little people you can make in a day.
6.
And how many plastic animals can you make in a day?
6.
So you're telling me you can make 6 little people or 6 animals in the same day?
Yes, but I can lower it down if I want to.
Okay, thank you. Here in Nerdtopia, we have perfected the art of making plastic animals. We can make up to 8 in a single day, led by our lovely dinosaur, of course. But for some reason we lag behind in the production of little people. We can only make 4 in a day. So, what we know from having looked at comparative absolute advantage in more detail in class is that in looking at production possibilities curves is that I, as Nerdtopia, can either make 8 animals or 4 plastic people, but I can't make 8 animals and 4 plastic people in the same day. I have to make some combination of thereof, because that would be my maximum. Princess Caroline and her Kingdom of Arendelle can make 6 little people or 6 animals. She can't make 6 of each in the same day, because that is, again, our maximum. So, looking at comparative advantage, we would want to find what we should specialize in and what we should trade for. From our scenario, we know that the Kingdom of Arendelle can make 6 people or 6 animals, and that the Kingdom of Nerdtopia can either make 4 people or 8 animals. The law of absolute advantage says that it's whoever makes more should be making that item. So in this case, we would have Nerdtopia making animals and Arendelle making people. But that is not always the means. Just because you make more doesn't mean that you're always the most efficient at actual production of that item. And since we were a class of efficiency, we agree with David Ricardo in that you should trade based on comparative advantage. So let's figure out who has comparative advantage. The easiest way to set up and find comparative advantage is to set up this nice little chart we have here, and then figure out what does it cost each kingdom, in this case, to produce 1 of each item. And by finding what it costs to make 1 of each item, we know the opportunity cost of producing that 1 single item. So, to make 1 person, to get from 6 to 1, we divide 6 by 6 and get 1. So we know that 6 divided by 6 over here is also 1. So what that tells us is that for every single person that Arendelle makes, they have to give up the ability to make 1 animal, and vice versa in this case, because it's a 1-for-1 ratio. In Nerdville, to make a single person, so to get from 4 to 1, we divide 4 by each side, it costs them the ability to make 2 animals. And we can find out what it costs to make 1 animal. You can either divide 8 into 1 or 2 into 1. 8 into itself or 2 into itself. And then the other side by the same number. So it would be 8 divided by 8 will give you 1. 4 divided by 8 will give you 1/2. Alright, so to make a single animal, it costs them half a person. To make a single person, it costs them 2 animals. So, the law of comparative advantage says you specialize in what you have the lowest opportunity cost in. So to make 1 person, 1 animal, 1 person, 2 animals. That means Arendelle should be making people. 1 animal, half a person, 1 animal, 1 person. That's half is less than 1, so Nerdville should be making animals, and as the camera falls. And with that, we now know what each kingdom should specialize in, and therefore what they should trade for. and we will now look at how we determine trade. All right, Princess Caroline. What we have determined through comparative advantage is that you should be making little people, and I should be making animals. Okay? So I'm going to make all animals, and you're going to make all little people, and we're going to trade. Okay? Does that sound good?
Yes, that sounds perfect.
Sounds great. All right. So what I need little people to be able to play with every now and then, and you need animals to be able to play with, right? Your princesses need to have a horse every now and then to ride on. Does that sound like it? Or maybe a plastic dinosaur.
No.
No. Okay.
They might get eaten.
Oh, okay. So
You have to train them first.
oh, we gotta train them. All right. Maybe take them under their jaws like the dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Dragon rider bark.
Yep. All right. So what I'm going to propose is that for every one animal I give you, you give me one person back. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Do you have a different option?
I was gonna say about 2, since you have more animals.
So I need to give you 2 animals
Yes.
in order to get one person.
Yes.
So you're proposing 2 for 1, and I'm proposing 1 for 1. Does that sound like what's going on here?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so here's what I have a question for you, AP Macro students. Who's right? Is it me, and that we should have a 1 for 1 trade? Or is it 1 for 1 trade? Or is it Princess Caroline who says we should have a 2 for 1 trade? Or are neither of us right and we should have some other trade proposal? I will get the answer from you in class.